Okay. So, kids, I have some bad news. No, I'm just kidding.
No, he's not.
Ready?
He's
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's freaking cold outside. That's my bad news.
That's fine. You know, that's kind of why I chose this too. I was like, you know what? It's a nice spot. It's inside. It's got green, which we won't be seeing for
months.
Yeah, months. Not even like once the snow like I'm talking probably June.
Yeah.
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 Realistically, right?
Realistically.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm like, should I wear warmer socks? Are we going to be okay?
Yeah.
Everything's
Am I okay
fine.
with just a hoodie, or should I put a coat on?
One day I'll do like a -20 outside interview, but that is not the thing.
I won't be part
You
of that.
won't be the feature. You won't be the featured author for that one.
I will. I'd need the help of something I've sworn off, a long time ago.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
To do that.
Exactly. All right. So let's do this.
Should we get a slate?
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right. Hi, I'm Shane. Frank is not here. Frank is at home being warm in the basement. You may not know this by the greenery around us, but it is very cold and snowing outside. But that doesn't matter at the moment because I am here with Marcus Hawke. He is the Frank's Haunted Book Society featured author for December of 2025, because I was going to say a different month. And his novel, You Can't Take It With You, was our featured read for December, and we're just going to chat.
Thank you very much for having me. And it's a good thing it's not June, because then you'd be saying, or January, because then you'd be saying January 2025, like we all do for the first 3 months of the year.
You know that's coming.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's all, yeah. It's 2025 until March, April, maybe.
I think this hasn't been a bad year, but it's still one of those years where people are like, I don't want to relive it.
It's been, honestly, it's been a mix, but it's been better, I think, at least for me, than
historic.
Maybe last year.
Yeah.
Last year was... last year was gone. We'll leave last year where it is.
That sounds like a plan.
That's the Zen atmosphere I'm trying to harness in this space right now.
Embody, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, I was about to bring up a resolution, but let's not do that.
I made one year. I made a resolution, not to make any more resolutions, and funnily enough, that's the one I've kept.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's important.
It's going great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk books and writing and stuff.
I have to clip this back on.
Oh, there we go. Whatever works. Okay, so my first question, we're just going to do a little bit of behind the author. When did you start writing? Yeah, there's hopefully nothing but a tree behind you.
I don't know. That could be interesting.
Oh, now I'm nervous. Okay. When did you...
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, exactly. When did you start writing? And when did you start writing with the intent to share your work?
Two very different questions. So I started writing probably as early as... I was always pecking away at something or another when I was, I don't know, between 11 and 12, things like that. And I think it really started to, shape up and become actual writing, I guess, probably in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I liked English and creative writing. Those were always my favorite courses and things I did probably the best at.
Yeah.
Like that was probably when it started. That was its, prenatal stage, I guess. But starting to actually share things. I think the first time I actually ever submitted a story was either 2007 or 8,
mm-hmm.
and it was to Ellery Queen Mystery Magazine for a story that I hope the last copy of that is buried somewhere deep, dark, wet, and gone. Yeah,
I get you.
Yeah,
I get you. Yes.
So then I think I tried off and on for probably from about that time, actually for a number of years, until probably, well, actually, like you know how it goes. You keep, I, and just for a little bit of trivia here, but the first time I ever submitted anything,
Mhm.
it was by mail. That's how far back I go. So,
Oh, the good old days.
oh yeah, it was. It was a real Canadian moment there. Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, bud.
Oh yeah, bud.
But yeah, I kept trying and trying to submit things, and no bites, no nothing until finally 2016 was the first time I actually had something accepted,
Hmm.
and I guess that was just the snake bite I needed to continue being stubborn up until the present day. So we're coming up on almost 10 years now since from then till now. That
Yeah,
yeah, pretty close.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I would suggest you're on a good trajectory.
I'd like to think so. I mean, sometimes it's hard to tell, but I mean, I think in some with many things in life, you have to just kind of like keep your nose down
Yeah.
and keep doing what you're doing, and that's the trick. Other things you have to poke your head up
Well,
and take a look around, but this
in
one I think
in many ways, it is a long game,
it's a lot.
like a
It's
lot of things in life.
that
Yeah.
is yeah. People I don't know if I don't remember if it was one of the questions or not, but if it if anyone ever asks for like advice for new writers or anything like that,
Yeah. Yeah.
perseverance, patience,
Yes.
just patience, stick with it.
Yep.
Don't give up. That's you that's 3/5 of the game. I don't know why I chose 3/5, but
It works. Whatever.
because it's also luck, and it's okay. We're it's just we're just we're just talking
We're
here.
just hanging out at a
Somebody's
public
just
place. I'm not
yeah.
worried about it.
It's fine. We're two guys dressed in black and here with a camera on us.
In a jungle.
Yeah.
No
I
big
mean,
deal.
it's fine. They probably think we're plotting some overthrow of the government or something. It's
No. Or
no
a
those
poncho.
guys are at Chick-fil-A.
There you go.
Yeah. Because we have one here. Anyway, did that answer the question? I forgot.
It did.
This
yes.
is going to be a rambling one too.
Oh no, and we got all the time in the world.
Oh,
Whatever.
great.
So
if only that applied to everything.
well, if only that were
Yeah.
true. Oh, but we'll get to that maybe.
All right.
Who or what were your most important early influences? Even though I know part of this question or part of this answer.
So I think the first, as far as just writing in general, I mean, it's probably everybody's answer from like going back to childhood who writes horror, but R.L. Stine, I think that was probably my really, really first exposure to written horror.
Yep.
And yeah, and there were others that came after that, like Tolkien. The one of my honest to God biggest memory about my final year of high school was reading The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings in the school library, because not much else happened during that time of, well, maybe of note, but nothing I want to relive. So
Yeah.
But yeah, Tolkien. I love Ray Bradbury. But I think the one time that really got me, I don't even know if I want to say interested. It traumatized me to no end. Really, was reading Pet Sematary when I was about 16.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was great. It was it was a real like, do I like this? Yeah, I think I do like this, but why? Because it's sort of like it's like when when they say that 4 out of 5 people suffer from constipation, then you realize that means there's one person who enjoys it. So I must have been that one, I guess. I don't know.
I like that one. Yeah.
It or something to that effect, like or cavities, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great book. It really leaves a mark on you. It had some things in it that I remember going, I didn't know you could do that in a book, because there's like there's a bit of a semi-erotic scene. Well, I guess it's erotic. It involves a husband and a wife coupling at Christmas, and just the way that was worded and everything like that. I was like, wow, I didn't know that was something you could put in a book, and also that beautifully. Like it's it's no exaggeration to say that it's done very very well.
There you go.
Oh shoot, there might be kids coming, but maybe they're going the other way. No,
Oh,
they're coming this way.
we're
That's all
okay.
right. That's fine. Not that I have a problem with that. It's just for sound reasons. But
I might have to, for the first time ever, clip a video.
sorry, I picked the place. Yeah.
Oh no,
right.
we're all good. So what?
What else would this be if not with chaos?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
What keeps you writing today?
Stubbornness, for one thing.
Okay, that isn't the word I expected.
Yeah,
but yes.
no, well, stubbornness, but also I enjoy it. I really do. Sometimes you really do have to sort of work through like, some days you just have to show up, put one word down in front of the next, but then there's other times where it just coalesces and things just come out of you.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
it's that when they may not be all the time, but it's when it happens, it's a beautiful thing. It really is. It's like,
Yeah.
why can't this be all the time? But that's okay.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
But I think much like life in general, you need some of the not good bits to make it worthwhile. And I'm trying not to get too existential with everything here today, but
but the not good bits is also a reason too. It's largely therapeutic. I work a lot of my issues and inner turmoil and mind goblins and whatever you want to call it into my work. So it's
that's good because I have a question about that later.
Oh, good. All right, excellent. Large. It just. I think when you start out writing, I think one thing you hear is that the goal is to be able to write every day.
Yes.
And if you're lucky, you get to that point. I've gotten to that point. So at this point, it just kind of feels the last few months sort of hit and miss, but it's overall it's become just routine, which is
and that is the goal, I think.
Yes, very much so. And it's not easy. It's not always easy. Like that took years to get to.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, we haven't talked about this yet. I do have a sort of a set of industry insider questions, so it's more from a. That'll come later, but that's on. Won't be recorded, and I don't know what I'm doing with them yet. But I just have. I had a bunch of questions when coming up with my lists, where it was very technical, or it's from a writer perspective.
Right.
My goal with this is more from the reader to learn about you, learn about the book.
Okay.
But I'll send that to you later.
Okay.
I need to stop with the crutch words. Other than
you don't need to.
Well, I want to.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
You don't need to do anything.
Well, that is fair.
Yeah.
That's what. It's a shocking thing when you realize you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Whenever you want. You just have to deal with the consequences.
But that's the real trick, really. I mean,
that is the only issue.
Yeah.
Other than writing, what creative endeavors are important to you?
That's a great question. I'm so even before writing, one of my earliest interests was art.
Mm-hmm.
So I drew from a very early age, and I've actually studied at ACAT or whatever it's called now, the Alberta. Oh, I forget.
Me too, and I even looked it up the other day.
Yeah. Yes. Alberta ACAD. We're sticking with that for today. The Alberta College of Art and Design.
Yes.
Yeah. Whatever it is now. Yeah. When you post this, you can put a little.
I can flash the logo across the screen now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. Well, there you go. Perfect. So I went there and studied and got not a degree, but a certificate of completion from there. So that's one. I like to paint and draw whenever I can. Hasn't been as much late. Actually, it's funny. Ever since I started writing a little more, like probably since I set out with the intent of putting out my first book till now, it's been less, just because I think one thing moved out and the other came in. There's also some physical reasons. It's tough for me to sit sort of over the table or in the chair for as long, as is needed sometimes. But in the last year or so, I've started to sort of revisit it a little bit. So I'd like to, explore that a little bit more. I also do like music, and I don't play it that much anymore, but I would like to revisit that as well. It's there's so many lapsed things that I think once you delve into them again a little bit, they kind of come back, almost like, you know,
Yeah,
it's like when you leave the house and you come home and your dog's there waiting for you.
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully he hasn't shat on the floor or ruined a pair of slippers or
Chewed up the bathroom door.
yeah,
You know.
anything like that. And I've had those experiences with actual dogs.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
It's
we
it's a good thing they're cute, huh?
Oh, trust me. We fostered for years, and the things that happened to the house. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Uh, Sorry, I had an additional question just when we're talking about
I
this because I'm curious about this as well.
yeah.
I'm like a jack of all trades, master of none,
Okay.
because I can't focus on. Well, I can, I guess, if I tried, but I tend to do a lot of different things, and
It's
we won't
coming
get
from the
into
guy who
it
just
here.
said you can do whatever you want a second
Well, you
ago.
can, but
Yeah.
what I want to do
I
apparently
see.
is 20 different things.
Yeah.
And then I never really have time to commit properly to more than one or two. Is that maybe part of where you're at, where it's like
Well,
some things have lapsed, and I get that some things have a season and they will come back. But is it just that you needed to focus on the writing right now, or
I
is it
think
that
so. I think for the most part, it was more that. I think like wherever it feels like the music's playing, that's the room you head
yeah,
toward.
yeah, yeah.
Like
No, I
that's
like that.
yeah. And
I'm going to say that a lot today. I
I know,
like that. You've
and
got all the great.
I I prepared none of this either, and I don't know. Like that's why I wanted to see the questions. I was like, I need to know what the hell I'm talking about. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
then yeah, it's like
You're fine.
if I don't check, I'll have no idea, and then if I check, I'll just ignore them and wing it, and it'll be whatever it is.
Perfect.
Just like with remembering anything, if you don't write it down, so help me God, you'll forget. If you write it down and don't look at it ever again,
Yeah.
you'll remember it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think largely that is the reason. I think it's mainly just that one thing required my full attention at that time,
Mm-hmm.
and now, I don't know. I have been feeling just like since my last book came out, like I'm not quite sure where to go now. Right?
Mm.
Like I've been working on one thing or another, and a friend of mine actually likened it to like a charcuterie board. You can sort of. That's not mine, so you don't have to say that you like it. But I liked it, so it was good.
Yes.
Thanks, Vanessa. Uh, but it was, yeah, it's in a way it can be sort of not discouraging, but it can be sort of it can feel strange when you're used to sticking to one thing until it's done.
Yeah.
But it depends on how you look at it. It can be more like it can be sort of a superpower, I guess. It just if that superpower is getting minimal amounts of a lot of things done.
I'm going to put that on my business
There you
card.
go. Yeah. That's minimalist maximalist.
Oh man. Yeah. I'm learning so much today.
I've never had anyone say that when
Oh no.
in response to, well, not to my face anyway.
Well, there you go. Wow.
I don't know. I don't know what's said behind closed doors or
Well,
prison cells.
A, probably not much. But B, you may also not
That's
want
the
to
thing
know.
too, isn't it? It's like you think, what are people saying? It's like they're probably not saying anything.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like one of those anxiety things where you wouldn't worry so much if you knew how little. And I know I'm saying it wrong, but if you knew how little people actually think about you or
it's
have negative thoughts about you or whatever.
Everyone's got their own behind the scenes reel that they're focusing on, and they're not looking at the highlights
their
either.
Own movie, not yours.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, what in the realm or genre or whatever of horror are you reading or consuming or involved in at the moment?
Yeah. So right now, I'm almost finished a book called Corpse Paint by David Peake. It's a little different than I thought. I thought it would be a little more. I think it's labeled as a horror. It's a little more less horror, but it's about two black metal musicians in their endeavor to create this album that kind of goes off the rails, and it's interesting. I've wound up quite liking it in the end. It was a little more, I don't know, quite not quite what I expected, but not necessarily in a bad way.
Yeah.
And what else? I keep having it in mind to read Frankenstein,
I'm
which
yeah,
I
I'm in
well
the
I,
middle of it.
yeah well, so that was the case last year,
Hmm.
beginning of the year, whenever it was, and I started reading it and I went, you know what, I like this, but not right now,
Yeah.
just because. Actually, I guess it was probably later. It was like around spring, so I wasn't quite feeling it. But now that it's dark and cold and
Mm,
gloomy, I think it's probably about right.
more appropriate.
Yeah,
Yes.
and also following the movie, I'm sure it's it probably Frankenstein for the first time in 200 years probably just shot to the top of the bestseller
Yes.
list, right? But
Yeah.
that's that's the way it goes. That's the best reason to have any adaptation of your work is so it'll sell books.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Even if it's so long after you're gone,
yeah,
all good. So I've got a few just quick creative process questions.
yeah.
What parts of the writing process do you enjoy, and which would you rather do without?
Yeah. Well, I mean I do enjoy the writing part. I write by hand too, so that's
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's something just very soothing and satisfying, and at times even meditative about just putting pen to paper and
Yeah.
you know having a good pen with a good piece of paper, I guess, and
Mhm.
just doing things that way. The part I don't like, I think, would probably be the one everyone will probably say, which is editing. That's like that's the creative equivalent of a tax audit, pretty much,
See,
coupled with a colonoscopy.
there you go.
Yeah,
I know a few psychopaths out there who enjoy editing. I'm not
that's
gonna name.
directed at
I'm
somebody
not
for
gonna name
sure.
names, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
No,
I'm with you. There are people though.
it can. You know what? It can be enjoyable. Just like well, maybe enjoyable is a bit of a stretch, but it can be. It depends who you're working with. It depends what you're working on. I have a great editor who allows a lot of freedom and says and encourages me to break the rules when needed. She's like,
Yeah.
if this is what you think fits the story, go with that. Don't go with the grammatically correct thing or the punctuation or
Right.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I love that. I think that's something you get, like, especially when there's editors who are also writers themselves. You tend to see that
Oh yeah.
because they really understand, right? Like it,
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's the part that feels a little more clinical, I guess, but it can be good. Ultimately, it's for the best. I think
Hmm.
it makes things a little more. Also, I mean, it also helps. We were talking a minute ago about typos and mistakes that you still catch later on, and even after a professional edit, you'll still find that stuff.
Oh yeah.
And but either way, like it's just really funny when like after you do a pass yourself, and then somebody else who isn't you comes in, what they find
Hmm.
because you start kicking yourself. You're like, how did I miss? How did it?
Well,
How I looked at this with my own
I
eyes.
I try to explain this to new writers all the time. It's like you become blind.
Yeah.
You think
Oh
it's
yeah.
amazing and it's done, and I'm like, no. I'm sorry,
Done.
but
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. No, it's true. Like you can read something 10, 20 times, and
Yeah.
that's a great number, 10, 20. But yeah, I mean, yeah, really, and still wind up finding something that you missed.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Do you keep your reader in mind when you're writing?
Sometimes I tend. I mean, you when I draft things first,
Hmm.
I tend to just kind of get that out. You know, get
Hmm.
it out, get it over with. Don't try. And that is something that also took a long time to do, and it's phenomenally hard when you do it on when you write on the computer
Yeah.
or in a Word doc of any kind. It's too easy to go back and correct things, right? But
Yes.
when you're writing, you can't. You pretty much just have to let it be messy.
On
Even
a,
if you think of something later, you have to put it after everything that you wrote so that it's just
like stars and
yeah, yeah,
arrows.
yeah. Well,
Yes.
exactly. Oh, I mean, mine looks like yeah, it looks like a comic strip. It's
Yes.
yeah, uh, but when it comes to like as far as content, not so much, but when it comes to readability, right? Like I mean,
Hmm.
it's something that's often said, right? Like read things out loud, see how they sound out loud,
Yes.
because I want that to be the most easy. I don't want to wear on people's um, patience or sensibilities too much. So in that sense, very much so, I'd like to keep it as appealing as possible, and that might mean more description. It might mean less. It could,
Yeah.
it just depends. And at the end of the day, you have to make the call that you make, and that's where editing comes in handy as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now it sounds like I'm making a case for it.
I think you should.
Yeah,
be,
well,
but
but that's where it comes in handy too, because there's, somebody might say this reads a little funny or whatever.
Mhm.
Listen to that. At the end of the day, you might wind up still keeping it, but
Mhm.
that's someone else who's reading your work and might think that might be better to at least take a second look at, or a third look,
it
whatever it is.
it is important to get feedback.
Yeah.
At I would even say not all stages. You don't want to give someone a first draft with those stars and arrows and being like, "Here, check
I don't
this
think I
out."
could. Like, even if how would
Yeah,
I get that to somebody, and then
yeah,
how would I
yeah,
get it back, right?
yeah, yeah.
But
Exactly.
yeah, exactly. It's yeah, that would be too hard.
I think
Send photocopied pages to people.
ooh, like in the old microfiche.
That could be fun
Be
though.
some weird like
Be
carrier
like,
pigeon
you send them a
nonsense.
code telling them where to find the film. It's like
You've got
under
like
under a
a
table at,
puzzle box where you have to decipher the code.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, I like that.
Look under the under the sofa in the lobby of the hotel,
Yeah,
and then you need the machine, but that's a whole other. That's an entirely different.
detail. It's just
Yeah.
small detail, no big deal.
For anybody who still knows what microfiche is,
Oh yeah, I might be
look it up.
Might be dating
There's
myself.
this great thing called the internet for any questions that you don't. No, I'm really. It's great. It's going to be big. I know.
We should be like, go to your local library. Not that they have the microfiche
They might
anymore.
not either. That's the funny
No,
thing. Well,
they don't.
somewhere I guarantee you, somewhere in the basement they have one, but
Maybe,
they might
actually.
not. It might not be
It's the
allowed
secret
to people.
boiler room.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I missed a question, but it
Oh.
actually fits here better.
Okay.
I believe a big part of being an indie author, if that's not a derogatory term, is
Not to us.
it's community. It's
Sure.
having other writers. It is your editors. It's your teams, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Can you speak just briefly or not about your community or how your community has supported you in your journey?
Immensely so. I dare say without that, I wouldn't. No one would know who the hell I am, if anyone does. But I was surprised. I'll tell you, like, when I first discovered that there was indie horror of any kind, it was thanks to Sour Candy by Keelan Patrick Burke.
Yeah.
Because I saw it on a list of best. It was something like best horror books.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's ever, but it was like a list of someone's picks for best horror books, and that was one of them. And for whatever it was about it that spoke to me, and I picked it up and I read it and I loved it. And I was like, this isn't like I just noticed, like, there is no, like, there wasn't even a title on the spine. It was so small, right? Like,
yes,
and there was no publisher stamp anywhere, and I just kind of noticed that. I was like, I've never seen a book like this in my, like, like, as far as just the format of the book. I've never seen one like this, and that was how I discovered that this exists. And that was how I found out that there are still people who love reading this much.
Yeah.
And that was really not just a great thing to learn. It was encouraging. It was nice to know, like, because I don't know a whole lot of people who, well, I know more now, but just in general, I'm probably the biggest reader out of my group of friends and or family or whatever, right? And it was just really, it was encouraging to see that that's something that still exists. I thought it was gone.
Well,
I really did.
It exists and it can make an impact, right?
It can make a huge impact.
Yeah.
It can. I mean, for both reader and writer. Like, I mean, it's just knowing that there's a way. Because I mean, when I first was looking to publish my first book, I queried this agent and that press and whatever, and no bites, right? So just knowing that there is a way that you can still have that exist, no matter what.
Yep.
That's priceless, like it's been massively important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And thank you to everybody who's part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. I guess
I promised myself I wouldn't cry.
Oh, that's coming. No, I'm just kidding.
Great.
No, it'll be
please.
me. It'll be
Yeah.
me, not you.
Zoom
Don't
in
worry.
on the
Yeah.
when it's time. We'll get the full Blair Witch Project effect going.
Ooh. No, stop. One last before we get to the book itself.
Sure.
How did you define success for yourself as a writer when you first started writing, and how has that changed?
I guess I defined it by just seeing that people were like that. You know, it's it's a discouraging thing when you show up and no one else does.
Mm-hmm.
So to see that there were people interested, people who wanted to know what I had to offer, people who, I mean, even before my first book, I put out a short story, and people, I didn't know, nobody knew me from Adam, and they just decided to pick it up, and they liked it, and they recommended it to people, and it just kind of went from there. It like that's where I say I think I lucked out in a lot of ways, because some people don't have that, and it's unfortunate. That's why the community is really important. I think anything we can do to lift other people up is great. Like it's yeah. So that's kind of how I define success, is just by existing, just by anyone knowing who I was, and that the books were out there.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And I mean, from my perspective, it feels like you're hitting everything properly right now. Like I'm seeing the book, even though, I mean, it's not like one of those things where you own a red car, so you see red cars everywhere. But it's like when
that's such a thing, though.
Well, it is, but I think, and it's the time of year. But I'm seeing this book everywhere on Instagram.
I think it's
which is amazing.
It's honestly been better this year than last.
Yeah.
Just because I think it's funny, but another good, not that anyone asked, but another good piece of advice to writers who are just starting out is, don't judge things by the way they go right away. If it doesn't take off right away, that's okay. You have a lifetime of sales and promo and marketing opportunities, and you never know what can happen, right? So like,
it's true.
Right when things come out, it might not be, but I think just because from last year to this year people read it and have recommended it to other people, it kind of it's kind of grown a little bit exponentially. So that's, and I'm very thankful for that, and thank you to everybody who's checked it out recently. I've been seeing the same, and it's always nice to see.
Oh, it's amazing to see, and I mean, there's a reason for it. It's a really good book.
Oh well, thank you. I tried.
Okay, well, let's talk about it.
Sure.
We'll do this again. You can't take it with you. The cover is amazing.
I was really, really, really fortunate. I looked at a couple of different artists to work with on that, and it didn't work out either for scheduling or cost or any, not that anyone was charging anything fabulous or not worth it. Everybody charges what they're worth, for sure. Yes. It just might not have been in my budget. And then I just happened to luck out with a great artist named Robert Carter, who has worked for the Folio Society. He's done all kinds of magazine illustrations and covers and whatnot. So I knew him. That was somebody who I definitely had on my wish list, and it just so happened to work out that I remember where I was when I saw that. Actually, I was in LA.
Oh yeah.
I was there on a trip last October, and just walking around, and he sent me that, and I just stopped. Like I was walking through Culver City, and I just stopped walking on the sidewalk, staring at my phone, and it was like, this is like, this is even better than I imagined. So
yeah. Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, I can't take. Everybody says, "What a great cover," and I always say, you have to thank him. Don't.
Oh,
I know, but I mean, I always try and send it to him and tag him so he can see. You know what I mean? Like, because I want him to know. And working with real, it's sad that we have to stress this, but working with actual real live artists is an important thing to me, especially as an artist myself. So, yeah, I want him to know.
Yeah, we'll get into that another day, maybe.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
The whole AI conversation is evolving, and it's just
this will be in a very different setting for that conversation. It'll look like a POW video.
We'll be in the Borg or something.
Yeah, Yeah, find somewhere with a lot of mechanical setting and green,
Yeah, flashing
ambient
lights.
light. Yeah,
I just wanted to read
in case our stance on that is at all
Well,
unclear.
it's not that I'm not saying anything because I think the robots are going to come and get me,
Well,
but they might. Let me tell you a little bit about the book. This is the blurb, I guess, is what we call this these days. So
I hate
is that what
blurb,
the
but
kids
you
say?
can call it that. It's the text on the back cover. That's what I call it.
Let's be very specific. It is the text on the back
Yeah.
cover. What would you do for more time? Christmas Eve, 1984. Montgomery Nolan is about to die. Even at 90 years old, it's never enough. But he has a way out, a way to live beyond death. No longer hunted by time, he will become the hunter, and the night will be anything but silent. And that is a fact.
I wonder. I sometimes wonder if people get that because it's a reference to Silent Night, but I don't know why I wonder that. It's just I miss things easily sometimes.
So I just immediately went to what happens in the book, but yes, it is a Christmas story.
Yeah,
Technically.
fair enough. Well, no, it is.
It's very much
yeah.
involved in it, and I know you. Well, yeah, you bring it up in the afterword and everything as well. Which, anyway,
Yeah.
big question: why vampires?
Well, so I had this idea long ago, and probably when I, so when it was something that was kind of hard to source from like where I actually got the idea,
Mhm.
but I just thought I thought of the vial basically of the vial of that. Spoiler alert, but basically instead of being turned by another vampire, this is someone who injects himself with vampire blood with the purpose of not dying, right?
Mhm.
And I honest to God don't know where that idea came from. I can't remember where. So I had that idea for a long time, well before it was ever had anything to do with Christmas or anything like that. So why vampires? Simple answer: because I like them. I've been a vampire fan for a long time.
Yeah,
I use them often, and that's basically it.
that's just
Because
it.
they're fun.
Well, yeah, they definitely can be.
Yeah.
Which I mean, maybe leads into the next question: which uh, I just lost the word attributes or tropes did you feel it was necessary to include? And even though I sort of know the answer, there was a couple maybe you deviated away from.
Yeah. So so when I was working on this idea, even before my first book was out, I had to decide what, and that's what I should say. Actually, this book is tied. It's in the same universe, I guess you would say, as the Miracle Sin,
Hmm?
which involves vampires and other supernatural creatures, but it's totally different. Like it's different time, different place, different characters, different everything.
Yes.
It just happens to follow the same rules. So when I was working on this, I had to decide: is this going to be part of that, or is it not? And I'm just going to, throw whatever rules I had established to the wind.
Mhm.
Ultimately, I just decided to stick with them because that's done. They're already decided on, and
Yeah.
it's pretty simple. Like there's not a wooden stake. There's no reflection in mirrors. But there's the common ones of don't go in the sun
Mm-hmm.
and things of that sort. There crosses will affect them, but not just any cross. Like it has to have some belief behind it in order to actually work. It's sort of like
Yeah.
putting two chemicals together, right? Like on their own they might be harmless, but you combine them, big trouble.
That's
So,
when you're in
yeah.
trouble. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you.
So that was essentially it. I just stuck with what I had established in the Miracle Scene series.
So, The Miracle Sin was actually the first book I bought of yours, but
Oh.
it's still sitting unread on the shelf.
That's okay.
because I've
That's all right. It's a
gone
big
through a
one.
few
and
others still.
you're not alone either. There's a number of people out there I'm sure would be able to say the same thing.
Well, now, not because it's involved with this, but
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to get to it one day. But um, you have a personal connection, if that's the right word, to New York City, which is where the story takes
A little
place.
bit, yeah.
Can you share a little bit about that connection?
Sure. Well, so I always loved New York City. It factors heavily into a lot of the things I liked from a very early age, like Ninja Turtles, Spider-Man, even Batman. Even though it's called Gotham City, was heavily
Yeah.
influenced by Manhattan, and so I always and wanted to see it, and I finally got to coming up on 12 years ago now.
Mm.
And yeah, I went there. I went there for my 30th birthday, and it was just great. Like you couldn't have picked a better trip. There were things that happened during there that you just couldn't plan. I saw celebrities.
Mm.
I saw the landmarks, and the weather was great. It was in October, so it was like it was still really seasonably nice, but the leaves were changing and things like that. And
Yeah.
I think just very much because of that experience there, I wanted to set it there.
Mm-hmm.
That was just pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
I would go back in a New York minute.
That was actually my follow up. Was
Laugh.
do you have any plans to go back?
I'd love
It's
to.
been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. No immediate plans, but I
Mm.
mean, oh god, there's so many places I'd like. I mean, if I go anywhere next, I'd love it to be probably England. I've wanted to see England
Oh yeah.
for ages, and
Yeah.
haven't had the chance yet. But yeah, England, Scotland, anywhere in the UK really. But
I'll save the story for later. But I've been there. Have been fortunate enough to be there a couple times, and it's worth
yeah.
the trip.
If I anywhere that I wanted to go back, or well, so I had plans to visit Salem, Massachusetts in 2020.
Yeah.
That didn't work out.
That time.
Yeah. We started planning. My friends and I started planning that. I think the year before, and then there was this little, inconvenient global pandemic that set that
Small
plan,
inconvenience.
on flames. So on fire, flames
Yes.
on the side of my face. But I would love to go back there. Like if I go anywhere in the States again, well, first of all, it would have to be a few years down the road,
Yeah.
but it would probably be there. I'd
Yeah.
love to go there and Boston, where actually the Miracle Scene is set, so I can see what I'm talking about.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
I sourced all that from what I could get from online.
Oh, which vast majority of people do.
Yeah, I mean, and you can get close, right? Like you can do as well as you can, but when you're actually there, when you actually, that was one thing I put. It's probably later in the book, but it says how it's never really deserted in New York, but you can actually go some places where it feels like it is, surprisingly. And
Yeah.
the apartment where I stayed, it just happened to be like it was close to the village, Greenwich Village. So there was one point at night coming home where I was like, this is surprising. Like just 2 blocks over, there's a street where people are honking at each other every
Yeah.
2 seconds, which was a strange thing to come home to as well. I was like, nobody's honking at each other here. This is weird.
It's very I was in Chicago once for a work trip, and the amount of honking, it's just how they communicate.
Yeah.
And I had to ask the taxi driver, like, is this normal?
It's like, oh yeah.
And they're just like, yeah, this is just the way it
and
is.
jaywalk, yeah, honking and jaywalking, just
there's
they're
just certain,
accepted,
certain rules. It's like its own little world.
Yeah.
And the rules are very different.
And that's what I love about it too. Is like it's a city, but it feels very much like its own entity, its own nation, or whatever you want to call it.
Absolutely. Did you always intend on Monty's story to be a full length work, or did it ever start as like a short story?
I thought that it would probably be a short story originally, but I think it kind of grew into what it became.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure I can really say why, but I mean, at least I had ideas as far as what would actually happen, and some of them, a lot of writers say that they write things based on a dream. I almost never do that, except for there was one thing in this. Like, there's a scene where he's basically just running down the length of alleyways behind the buildings, jumping and just jubilant that he can do this, and then lunges and attacks somebody, and I had a dream like that once, so that kind of just beyond that and just the premise, I didn't really have much else in mind. I discovered the rest of it while I was reading. That's one thing I also like to say, which is that I don't think writers ever really uh, create stories. I think you discover it, a lot of the time. I mean, it is creation, but it's you sort of a lot of the time I'm surprised by what I come up with as much as anybody else would be.
There is a theory, or probably multiple theories, pardon me, of some sort of connection to the universe or whatever it is. It's the muse. It's yeah, the ideas flow through us.
Yeah.
They weren't maybe created by us.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what you're getting at.
Well, yeah, I mean, it depends on what you want to ascribe that to, like if it's a higher power or whatever. But there is a lot of the time there is something that, well, like when I say the idea, I don't know where that came from. It just sort of. One of my favorite quotes from anything is from Stranger Than Fiction, when she says, "Like anything worth writing, it came suddenly and without motivation."
Yes.
I was like, yeah. So that's yeah. If we're lucky.
Well, it's like a lot of things in life. Maybe we're never going to figure it out. Maybe it's not important.
Yeah. It might not be, right?
The ideas come. That's what's important.
We ascribe meaning to things.
That is what our monkey brains do.
Yeah.
Yeah. You opened the book with an author note. It I guess takes the place of a content or a trigger warning, which seems to be more prevalent these days than in the past. How important is that sort of pre-warning? And warning might be the wrong word, or too strong a word.
It wasn't, because I guess it wasn't meant to be so much a warning, but I don't even know quite why I decided to put it in this. I put them in some things, but not in everything. Like the Axe Remembers doesn't have one, just because sometimes I think it's self-explanatory, right? Like if there's a slasher set in the woods, expect to see some blood, right?
Yes.
Like things like that, right? But anytime it's anything that I think it was more just like, just so you know, there's some sex and violence and a combination of the two in this, and if that's not your thing, cool, right? Yeah. But just know that going in. I don't think sex is something that we need to warn people about so much. I think it's, even just having that regard for it can be sort of counter to what I'd like to see in the world, which is have a more positive attitude toward sex and sexuality and things like that. But I decided to just, I don't know, if nothing else, because funnily enough, conversely, trigger content warnings often entice people. It's just like what do you call it? The parental advisory warning on album covers of the day, right? It's so funny how they put that on there to discourage people, and in the end, it wound up having the opposite effect.
It's like saying, "Don't do this."
Yeah,
this is
exactly.
Bad.
That's precisely what it is.
You can't tell me what to do.
Human psychology 101, right?
Absolutely.
There. But it does factor heavily into it, and I believe in them. I think it's up to everybody whether it's something they need to do or not. But there's one example of the time when I really appreciated that there was a warning at the beginning, and it was for Scanlines by Todd Kiesling.
Okay.
Which I still haven't read yet, but I picked it up, and obviously with the intent of reading it, and then at the beginning it said that this deals heavily with depression, suicide, stuff like that. And honestly, right at that point in time, I was like, I don't think this would be good for me, just because up here I was not in the best place. So I appreciate that, right? Like it's not meant to discourage or anything. It's just giving you it's a wheelchair ramp, right? You may not need it, but you might need it. So
that's pardon me, that's fair, and I really appreciate the way you handled it, because to your point, a lot of them are just like, it's the parental advisor banner saying there's this and this and this, and I agree. A lot of times, if you're reading a specific genre, you should expect certain things, but
I think there's a mutual, what's the word, responsibility involved on the behalf of both the author and the reader.
Yeah. Right.
Do what you can, especially if it's anything really, traumatic, like abuse or anything like that. I think it's especially, for anyone, anyone who needs that, right? Like, you might be okay doing that, but someone else might not be. Just take it into consideration.
Yeah.
And for readers as well, like when you read horror, like I think nobody reads horror not knowing what goes on, but you may not know the specifics, right? So it's,
well, there's so many different levels and styles and subject matters.
yeah,
So I mean, I get it. I've been back and forth on it myself, but
yeah,
I really appreciated the way you did it. So I
yeah.
just wanted to
At the
talk
end of the
about it.
day, it's worth a page,
Oh, absolutely.
just to
Yeah.
put it in. If there's anything really, yeah, like that.
Mhm.
If it's just that there might, somebody might get killed in this slasher. It's like, it's like
Maybe.
reading Tolstoy and saying, "Hey, you might find this depressing."
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or
Fair enough.
Dostoevsky was who I meant to say,
Oh,
but I
there you
went
go.
with
Yeah. Yeah.
Tolstoy.
Yeah.
But,
Maybe this leads into the next question. You've been really open with your personal journey, with your personal struggles. Again, I don't know if that's the right word. I'm
no, it's a
also a writer
struggle.
and I should know the words, but I don't always.
Struggle is a very accurate word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's amazing to have that connection with an author as a reader. It's made my job here a little difficult because it's like a bunch of the questions I had for you was like, oh, well, you just posted about that. It's in the back of the book. It's like whatever.
But you know what?
But that's amazing.
Not everybody sees that. It's funny how much of that can get missed, right? Like,
well, and maybe that's true as well. I guess
yeah,
things like your afterward where you talk about everything.
Yeah. Not everybody reads
Not
those,
everybody does read it, which I
is
hadn't
fine.
considered.
But yeah, sorry, you're going with the question.
No.
Before I go off on a tangent again.
Well, no. I mean, I appreciate that as someone. Well, it's just as someone. I appreciate the sharing and the connection. You've also been really open about your sobriety, which this past week or the week before?
A few, November 30th, so about 2 weeks.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
so it was your 15
yes.
year anniversary
Yeah.
of being sober, which is
that's still crazy to me when I think about how, it like when I reached 15 days.
Yeah.
That was monumental to me because there was a point in time where I could not go a full day. Like I could, like it really is. Yeah, it's unfortunate when things get to that point, but there was a point when, although I knew at that point, I wasn't in denial anymore. I knew I had a problem. Everybody around me was saying so. I wanted to stop, and I still could not stop. Couldn't stop. So to say that I'm celebrating 15 years worth of days, where it's really, yeah,
it's huge.
It's
nice
to see.
Oh, absolutely, and I'm glad.
It's nice to be to be able to remember every one of those days. You know what I mean?
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair.
Even if some of them were rough, but
not so good.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, not every one of those days is going to be great, but at least my worst day sober is better than my best day as an alcoholic. So it's
fair enough.
And that's what I tell myself every day. That's what I try to tell myself.
Well, no, I mean, it's true. Did your journey out of that, has that influenced your writing, or did in the opposite direction? Did the writing help that journey in any way?
I think it's very much a chicken and the egg kind of thing in that sense, because when I first quit drinking, I had a lot of time on my hands, a lot of extra time on my hands, and nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
So at that point, I hadn't written, my creative endeavors were non-existent at that point. So I really rediscovered a lot of them, and writing was one of them. I mentioned that the first story I had accepted was in 2016. That was called Bump in the Night. That indirectly involved that struggle. It was it wasn't front and center, but it was just in the it was sort of a subplot, I guess. But that was one thing. It factors into this one. In a lot of ways, it's sort of as a metaphor. Just the constant need, like however much you have, the more you want, both as far as materially and as in a sanguine sense, right? Blood and pleasure and power and whatever it is, right? Like it's never, it's like when you learn the the saying going through treatment that one is too many and 100's never enough. So
Yeah.
that's very much a recurring theme in this book for sure, and in other ones it comes up for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm going to. I think I mixed up my questions.
That's okay.
I understood part of the story was about addiction, but I guess I didn't understand the weight of it until the afterward, and of course your post of a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-mm.
Um, I guess one of my biggest takeaways from reading, um, you can't take it with you, and I've also read Gray Noise.
Oh, thank you.
Oh yeah, it was really good as well.
That's one that'll, yeah. If you're feeling good, that'll fix it.
That'll fix
Yeah.
it. Well, I guess that's
That's why when I went to DreadCon earlier this year, somebody said, "What will emotionally wreck me?" I said,
oh,
"That one."
pick that one.
Yep.
Well,
That's what you're looking for.
and that's I guess what I take away from both is that they're full of emotion. They elicit emotion.
Yeah. I think, yeah,
And,
one causes the other.
absolutely. And you sort of spoke about this earlier, but are you using your writing to process your own emotions, the
Big
state
time.
of the world? Like,
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as much as I can. Like, I don't know if will I ever get to a point of writing a fully political book? Probably not, just for a number of reasons, but also because that book will be, several volumes and thicker than War and Peace. But
there you go.
it'll be. But it shows up in a lot of things I write. Like, it's probably the one that's the most geared that way as far as, like, world or topical, I guess, anyway, is probably The Axe for Members, which has a lot of an environmental aspect to it, and just sort of tries to illustrate the point of cause and effect in the world, and the effect that we have on the world, and how that comes back to, we're like, why are there all these floods? Why are there all these wildfires? Like, it's hard to figure out. Yeah, I wonder why that is.
Yeah.
Look at the writing on the wall. Like, honest to God. But it it's definitely something I use, and it's not always something that's intentional either. Sometimes it is, but other times it comes up in sort of unexpected ways. And I like to say that a lot of what I work on is it's usually, more often than not, a time capsule of where I am at that point.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't even realize what it is. Other times people point things out to me, and I'm like, I didn't know that. I didn't think of things that way. Like, in The Miracle Sin, there's one, I won't spoil anything, but there's one aspect to it that I didn't realize until someone else read it and said, I think that was about that.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I think you're right. Like, how did I not notice that? I was there, you know what I mean? But it's just, it really is funny how things come up in unexpected ways.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And thank you for sharing all of that.
Thank you.
Not that we're done, but
I was.
No, I was
that
just,
it?
I was
Okay.
just like back to the book a little bit. Was there a moment?
This is the one ending in Lord of the Rings. There'll be 2 or 3 more.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll get kicked out before then. Was there a moment when Monty's story surprised you, or like it didn't go where it planned?
Kind of. There's. I'm not sure if I can talk about it without spoiling anything, but there's one thing after he's turned that he has in mind to have.
Right.
You might know what I'm talking about.
Vague.
But yeah, I know. I don't want to
rolling.
ruin it for anybody because it's kind of a plot point. But I honestly, I don't really think I knew quite where I was gonna go with that.
Right.
But I kind of saw, like, yeah, I could wind up going this way. But I think at the end, I just kind of went completely the opposite way with it, and that just kind of felt right to me because it seemed like what would like, even though my answer to would I want to be a vampire is still absolutely yes. I'm perfectly well aware of the fact that the way things always wind up going is that they're usually they usually come with more to it than you idealize. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's things you don't expect. There's costs you don't foresee. There's all kinds of stuff, right?
Well,
And yeah, I mean, it seems like it would be fun and cool to us, and maybe it would be, but even if it is, that would probably still come with its own dangers.
well, and that's one thing I appreciated about it so much was that in a lot of, not that I'm a huge consumer of vampire stories in movies or books, but it always seems like they relish in it and this is the best thing ever. But you really dive into, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's this,
There
there's
is that,
this,
but
and there's this.
it comes with yeah.
There's always a
Like,
trade off.
yeah. Again, I'm trying to think of how to talk about this without spoiling anything, but
Yeah, yeah.
at one point, it it seemed yeah. I guess the attraction of it sort of seems lessened,
Yes.
and then there's a moment when he gets a glimpse down the road thanks to another character, I'll say that much, that one way or the other, even if it seems like this is forever, there's no forever. There is a
Yeah,
time
yeah.
limit. Even if it's billions of years in the future, everything eventually
It
goes
will end.
goes the way of the dodo.
Yeah.
We're here for a good time, not a long time. Or even if we are here for a long time, right? So I mean,
Hmm.
yeah. I so I tried to tried to flesh that out as much as possible,
Yeah.
and that was also very much part of my examining, my own mortality and my own, like, where I'm at in life and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
things like that. Because I think you do that, so traumatize other people with it. You know,
That's the goal of a
that's
horror writer, I think.
pretty much it. And when people ask, like, why do people like horror? It's like, it's sometimes a tough thing to make a case for, but if you get it, you get it.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
just I'm the Joker at the end of the movie, just sitting there smoking a cigarette, going, "You wouldn't get it." You know?
Yes.
Sorry, I spoiled that one. But,
I think you're okay.
if you haven't seen it,
Yeah, fair enough. Was there anything left out of the final draft that you really wanted to keep in but just couldn't make it fit?
I don't think so. I'm trying to think if I cut anything really. If anything, I kind of wish I not anything that I had in mind that was cut, but just like anything, I guess I wished I could. Like, ideally, I would have had that be a spread that out over multiple days and have that be a little more gradual.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
also feel that it worked a little bit better just kind of constrained to a single night
Oh,
because
I really like that aspect of it
yeah,
because there was obviously a lot of backstory, but the action of the book, yeah, it was in a matter of hours. It wasn't. I don't know, a lot of, there wasn't anything unnecessary in there, right?
yeah. Well, that's just it, right? Like, it can be tough to keep things. It can be tough to keep the interest, I guess, when it's spread out longer than it needs to be. So I
Mm-hmm.
didn't try to do that unnecessarily. I guess it fit within one Christmas Eve night, and
Yeah.
that's all there is. And
No,
yeah,
no. I think it's. I mean, it's. I should have better words. It's amazing the way. Yeah, it's just. I mean, it's perfect for the story. The way that you. Yeah, just the time frame, the timing,
yeah.
everything was just. It worked
Well,
really
I'm
well.
glad. Yeah,
Yeah.
it seemed in the end it was the right decision. I think so.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah.
yeah. Rather than
Absolutely.
try and make it Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day. It's like, by that point, what and they don't do Boxing Day in the States, so they wouldn't get that at the very least.
Oh,
But
fair
yeah,
enough.
us colonial nations would. But Commonwealth is what I meant. That's colonial too. But
Poor,
whatever.
poor for them.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. We get a day off.
there you go.
Poor bastards.
The story has strong ties to music.
Mm.
Uh, how many of Monty's favorites were your favorites?
That's something I had to go back and look at everything that I put in there, because I know, yeah, it's a good couple of pages that I
Well, it's like
illustrate
scattered
those.
throughout. Yeah, you
Yeah,
you you reference quite a lot, which is awesome.
yeah, that was something that I was trying to keep like. I think if anything, that was the one part I was sort of like trying to justify keeping in
Mm.
because it doesn't really have anything to do with the story, but at the end of the day, I don't think you need. That's one thing that kind of bothers me sometimes is when if people read something and say this was unnecessary. It's like technically the whole story was unnecessary. It doesn't have to exist,
Most of it
but
was,
I
but yeah,
understand I understand what's behind it. But I also
yeah, yeah.
like parts that are just there for the flavor and for the I mean it says something about the characters and the
Well,
story,
you
right?
have to paint the picture,
Exactly,
and,
right?
and especially someone like me of a certain vintage, I recognized everything.
Yeah,
So it's like it kind of brings you it brings you into the story. It brings you back in a bunch of different ways.
yeah.
So
So a few of the songs that stick immediately or that come immediately to mind are Queen's "Love of My Life." I love that song.
mm,
Uh, I just called to say I love you. I think that's a beautiful song,
mm.
and I don't remember everything else that was in there. I think
There was a bunch. So
yeah, there
yeah,
was a bunch. So I and even some of the older ones, like some of the old standards and things like that from like the Ink Spots and
yeah,
it was interesting, but like this like there's some information in there as far as like the history of broadcasting and the technology of radio and how that I learned a lot by you read for probably days all kinds of information on that for something that ultimately winds up being about a paragraph's worth if that.
yes,
But at the end of the day, I was glad because I learned a lot in the process, and it was just neat to learn a lot about like how broadcasting worked during the war and how it
hmm
evolved after that and everything. Like, yeah, it was very it was that's a something of a side benefit, I guess, to writing things that are set in a historical context is you learn things you didn't know.
Well, it's cool to dig into some of that stuff
Oh
because
yeah,
you're right. I'm not saying it's lost to time because we have the internet, but you things you didn't expect or think of, like how you got from point A to point B with certain technology or
yeah,
different
yeah.
situations. We just don't. We wouldn't have gotten it.
And
So
and it's some of it's coming back too. Like I think once when I started to earlier when we were talking about joining social media, and things like that, as far as getting the community, it opens your eyes to a lot of other things because I didn't really have a whole lot to do with social media at that point.
mm-hmm.
And that was when I discovered that there's a big vinyl community out there as well, and I did not know that. I simply didn't know that. So just the fact
Yeah,
that there are people who still like records and buying records and collecting records and you know it's yeah right, well exactly right. And I mean even people I know, like I mean that's I just didn't know, and it's nice that some of that stuff, a lot of it is still out there and is in some ways coming back. Like they
yeah.
just started making cassette tapes for the first time since 2002.
That
You know what I mean?
was
Like
so. Record Store Day is a thing that happens every year. They do Black Friday as well, but
mhm.
a couple of years ago they started doing that. They came out. Someone I can't remember the artist, but they came out with a commemorative cassette tape, and I'm like, oh, it's we're just following the timeline
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Uh, but it is, and I think not to get off track, but we live in this digital world or this world where nothing's really real. So it's sometimes I think for some people,
Yeah.
for me, it's nice to hold this thing in my hand and be like,
Oh,
this was made by someone, and this is it's
do,
bringing me this music, this talent that was also made by
do you know how
somebody.
much it's not really crucial, but do you know how much I miss CD cover booklets?
Yeah.
Because they have artwork, they have the lyrics in there, they have it's
Do you
it's
know like
it's part of the experience. It really is. Like it just
I got rid of all my CDs a long time ago, thinking like downloading or whatever is the way. And it's true. I don't know the names of songs. I don't know
it
the lyrics.
it happens. I know, and that's just it. Like when I used to read the lyrics while and you can actually do that with Spotify because there's an option to
Yes.
do that, and I've
Yes.
started doing that more once I discovered it existed. But yeah, that's how you learn the words to songs because probably I don't know, for the last I don't know 5 to 6 years, whatever it is, I'm like, I don't think I actually know what the words to that one are. I think I know
You
because I can
think
hear this,
yeah,
but
you're singing along, but is
yeah,
it right?
yeah.
No. Oh, okay. Well, the last question I had about the book, I think you've already answered. If you were in Monty's shoes, would you have done anything differently? Would you have taken the injection, which I think you said you want to be a vampire.
It's
So
all. It's also a pro-vax message for anybody out there. But
there you go.
no, I, I, I think I would have, because you know what? At the end of the, like, if you're wrong, you still have centuries to figure that out. And
Mm,
I'm of the mind that if you have that amount of time, you can make something work. You can find something to do. You can find a purpose. You can get around things. And if you don't, then you're done anyway. But
yeah.
I'd rather have the time. I'd rather have the option and not need it than not have the option. Because as humans, we are all mortal and only have a set period of time, and that's it. But
Mm-hmm.
if you have centuries or potentially millennia to, you can go through the cycles. You might
Over and over.
just, well, and that was something I wanted to explore too. Is that, like, it might, even as vampires, you might start that way. It might seem attractive. It might not be later on. You might be fed up with it, and then you might come back to it. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to spoil anything.
Don't do it.
I know. It's really hard. Yeah. Some of this people can piece together through their own. Read it anyway. Okay.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
read it.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
get the book and read it. It's like, God, what
I,
what are you
I'm
waiting for?
I'm the
Go right now.
I'm the Tom Holland of the writing world. I just let too many things slip.
Oh yes. All right. Well, to wrap up, I don't know if well, do we want to get weird? Well, then let's get weird. So,
Let's get weird. In the words of Bill Murray. Here.
in my one thing I like to ask is what comes next. Now, the reason I bring up getting weird is that in the afterword, and I know it's not, I'm not asking you like personal questions, but it resonated with me, and so you said, because you explained a lot of things that were going on in your life at the time you wrote the book, the time the book was published, or
Yeah,
before.
for sure.
You said, with all that comes the closing of a major chapter in my life. What comes next? I have no idea. And now I'm going to ask you, Marcus, what comes next? But in a way of,
Yeah.
because we none of us knows what comes next. What are you working on? What creative projects? What are you looking forward to getting to?
Yeah, okay. That's a good way to put it. I mean, I mentioned that I'm pecking away at a few different things and just kind of waiting to see what ultimately takes on enough momentum to get finished first. Because that's whenever people ask, like, how do you decide what your next thing is going to be? I'm like, whatever gets done first.
Yeah.
Usually, right? And as an indie and or self-published author, that's the beauty part, is you have that luxury to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That said, I have no fucking idea. But I think if it's more likely than more likely than not, I've been working on one thing probably the most consistently, which is a heavy metal centric horror book.
Mm.
Don't know if I want to say much more about it than that, but it's largely like, not just, but largely involving black metal
Mm.
and the black metal community, or scene the the early to mid to late 90s.
Okay.
And yeah, just kind of exploring that and focusing on that as much as I can. It's one of the few that I can say hasn't, so far at least anyway, hasn't been a big, it's not something I'm using really strongly to, like, express an issue, or like an ongoing problem of my own. It's
Right.
kind of just that, like, it leans to a little more toward the extreme side of things.
Mm.
So it's something that I'm just kind of having fun with, and
Okay.
I like that. I'm that's probably why, that's probably actually indirectly why that's wound up being the thing I'm focusing most on, is because somehow that's telling me you need you're okay to rest for a little bit.
Yeah,
You don't need to do any heavy lifting right now, mentally or emotionally. So just burn a bunch of churches and have a good time. You know what I mean? It's
Okie doke.
yeah, like it's for anyone who doesn't know, that's what happened.
Ah,
Yeah,
yes. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Good old Norway, circa
I was gonna bring up
92,
Norway.
93. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's where it's set too. So it's so learn. That's one thing I actually have been able to. That's one thing I like being able to do, is like look into topics and areas wherever it's set, and just learn about Norwegian culture and geography
Yeah.
and things like that. So it's been nice in a very dark and satanic way. So
Yes.
yeah,
That's looking forward to that.
yeah.
Whatever comes of it.
Whenever it comes with it, I would also like to work some artwork into it. I'd like to, because I mentioned getting back into that. I think I'll, and just because a lot of the early black metal scene involved a lot of independence and independent production
Yeah.
and doing things in an unpolished way. I'm trying not to be too, like um, too perfect or too analytical about it, and that's alone just kind of allowed some freedom too. It's a bit of a looser
Yeah.
thing, so maybe that's partially what I need as well. So
That's
maybe it
fair.
is fitting an inner need. Who knows? Yeah,
I keep being told to do the things that bring you light, and if that's what is making you
yeah.
happy right now, then
The
yeah.
light's coming from a burning church, which I've mentioned for the second time now. Sorry, not sorry.
Yes. Okay. Well, I have like an extra bonus question,
Okay,
but it was only this is your fault.
fair enough.
So, Marcus, where do babies come from? You don't have to answer it, but I just wanted to ask you because you
I
suggested it for Julie. So I just wanted to see this. Okay, moving on.
uh,
Okay.
I'll tell you what I was told.
Uh
French kissing.
oh. Ooh.
And at some point there was a banana on a condom. That's the best I've been able to piece together. And you
So
know what? There's a in I don't know if you're familiar with it, but The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss. It's part of the King Killer Chronicles. The first book
I think
being
I've
The
heard
Name
of
of the
it.
Wind.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah, yeah.
in that book, there's kind of a great point made by. It's set in medieval fantasy setting, so they don't know anything about modern science or anything
Right.
like that. But it's really funny how there's a discussion about that, and one of them says they just they come from the woman. I'm like, what do you mean? It comes from the man. It's like, how do you know? Because the man does his thing, and
Yeah.
then a baby comes out. But does it happen every time? Well, no. Well, then clearly the woman decides.
Clearly, it's the
Yeah,
woman.
exactly.
Someone's getting in trouble.
Yeah, someone's exactly.
I really think just the aspects of French kissing and a banana with a condom needs to be used for some sort of strange
I mean,
explanation or a story, just in
if
general.
that's not the recipe for romance,
Ugh.
what is? And a bearskin rug.
Bearskin rug. Okay.
All this could be yours, ladies.
It's true.
Yeah.
Once again, you can't take it with you. Well, I
Uh,
know it's available on Godless.
Yeah.
Which if you're into ebooks,
Yep.
go to Godless. Amazon. Is there anywhere else people should look for it?
I don't think so. I can't remember if I put it up on any of the other sites. Those are the two main ones.
Okay.
Um, as is pretty much the case. I've been meaning to put that on Ingram as well so that I can get it into bookstores, but I still haven't done it yet because
Right.
Ingram it takes quite a bit to get
It's
all that.
I started with Ingram. It's not. I mean, that was a few years ago. But
As far as getting
easy.
it into other outlets and bookstores and stuff, it's great. It's
got its
actually
benefits.
essential. But
yes.
yeah, it does. It's a lot more. It requires a lot more time to set up each title.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I will do so at some point.
Excellent. Where can people find you? What's website and social media?
Yeah. Anywhere wet and dark. So
Creeping along the sewers.
yeah. So Twitter. No, I don't go on Twitter anymore. But yeah, I'm on Instagram. My handles are all very easy. They're all Marcus Hawke, except for on TikTok where it's Hawk Talk, Hawk.tok. I'm on Facebook every once in a while. Threads also once in a while. That's really more for shit posting than anything. But I do occasionally put book related stuff out there, and all of 5 people respond to it. Unlike my one's like, so what's your favorite cheese, and that gets 10,000 views.
Right?
Yeah,
I don't know. Important questions.
Yeah, yeah. You should I put something that was like, I think the one thing that got viewed the most time, it was about 10,000 times.
Yeah.
It was just a quote from Toast of London. I don't know if you've seen that.
No.
It's got Matt Berry in it, and it was just a quote from that, and the response was through the roof.
Took off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to social media.
Yeah, pretty much, right? Exactly.
Okay. This has been amazing. Thank you.
Oh, thank
you.
you.
Thank you for participating. This has been great. Once
My
again,
hands are freezing, but there you go.
Like real people.
Yeah, well,
was one of the reasons.
Like an arm I've been leaning on for 40 minutes.
There you go.
Yeah.
I can't feel it, but here you go. Once again, I'm Shane. This is Frank's Haunted Book Society. We are trying to support indie horror, indie and small press, whatever that means these days. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you, everybody. This has been amazing. We will see you in January.
Cheers.